To understand the carnivorous plants, we must begin with their ancient ancestors, the algae. Volvox. Appearing roughly 50 million years ago, these spherical colonies represent a primitive form of plant organization. Tens or hundreds of individual cells live communally in a protoplasmic ball. These beautiful creatures live only underwater, where plant life originated. The single algal cell is the most ancient and original plant form. Appearing 1.6 billion years ago, these swimming creatures contain organelles. These include the nucleus and chloroplast. As in humans, the nucleus contains DNA. DNA is the molecular plan which animates all life. The chloroplast has a far more unusual function. It captures sunlight and thereby generates food for the plant. The photosystem found within the chloroplast is the molecular marvel which makes photosynthesis possible. It contains chlorophyll, an extraordinary pigment which captures sunlight and also gives plants their green color. Each day, innumerable photons travel 93 million miles from the sun. When a photon strikes a chlorophyll molecule, it fluoresces, transmitting light to its neighbor. The chain reaction ends at the reaction center. Here, solar energy converts water and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. This sugar is the plant's food source. The sugar and oxygen produced through photosynthesis radically changed life on Earth. Over millions of years, algae filled the Earth's atmosphere with oxygen. The sugars became a food source for more complex creatures, allowing for the development of insects, birds, reptiles, and mammals. Thus it was plants and their astounding photosynthetic power which made and continue to make human life possible. In addition to sugar, plants need other elements like iron, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Normally, plants acquire these elements from the soil using their roots. However, many soils do not contain these elements. In order to survive, plants adapted and began to trap nutrient-rich insects. Plants which capture, kill, and consume animal prey exhibit the Carnivorous Syndrome. In Western Australia, we find Drosera pulchella and occidentalis. These gorgeous species are just two examples of the pygmy sundews, so named because of their minute size. Incredibly, 4 adult plants occupy an area smaller than a postage stamp. On a hot December morning, Drosera pulchella begins to bloom. It has been preparing for this moment for an entire year. nearly as large as the plant itself, will open for just a few hours on a single afternoon. It then closes and produces seed as fall approaches. In comparison, Drosera scorpioides is a relative giant, standing 50 millimeters or 2 inches tall. In South Africa, we find Drosera admirabilis. Like all Drosera, this species has modified leaves which allow it to capture, kill, and digest insect prey. The hair-like glands on the leaves, called tentacles, secrete a sticky glue. Insects find the glistening droplets irresistible and quickly become trapped. The glands then secrete special enzymes, much like the human stomach, and consume the helpless insect. In the Mexican tropics, we find Pinguicula growing on limestone mountains. Though unrelated, these succulent plants are similar to Drosera. Pinguicula leaves shimmer with natural glue and quickly digest captured insects. Here we see the rare Pinguicula cyclosecta. In winter, these creatures produce exquisite orchid-like flowers. The flowers produce a sweet nectar and are pollinated by migrant hummingbirds. In this freshwater pond, the food chain proceeds normally. Aquatic plants produce sugar and oxygen, nourishing herbivorous snails. Even here we can find carnivorous plants. Utricularia, though closely related to Pinguicula, possess incredibly complex traps. Under the microscope, we can see Utricularia's minute traps. These are actually greatly modified hollow leaves. Each trap forms a vacuum inside, awaiting a curious insect. When an insect approaches, a trapdoor springs open, sucking in the insect. Many species of Utricularia can be found growing on land. In these species, the traps grow underground, capturing tiny subterranean insects. Though these traps are exceptionally small, they are perhaps the most complex plant structures on Earth. Utricularia also produce lovely diminutive flowers. John Teagle. This is one of several sandstone mountains which emerge from the Venezuelan savannahs. It is an alien landscape, scoured by constant rainfall and radical temperature variations. In this punishing environment, plants reveal yet another form of the Carnivorous Syndrome. The leaves of the heliumphora form a hollow tube or pitcher containing a pool of digestive fluid. At the top we find a red spoon enticing insects with sweet nectar. Lured by the nectar, insects are guided towards the bottom by downward pointing hairs. Once in the pool of digestive fluid, the insect drowns and is consumed. This trapping method is employed by other pitcher plants, like the exceedingly rare Cephalotus follicularis. This Australian plant forms ornate traps, typically in dense clusters. At the mouth of the trap, we find the toothy peristome. Insects frequently traverse these elaborate teeth in search of the nectar just beyond. Lured inside the mouth, the insects quickly lose their footing and drown in the digestive fluids below. Rising nearly 3 miles above the Bornean lowlands, Mount Kinabalu is home to the bizarre Nepenthes. These climbing vines produce elegant traps at the ends of long tendrils. With over 80 species in Southeast Asia, the Nepenthes reveal an astonishing variety of form. Some species grow 6 stories into the rainforest canopy, bearing huge, heavy pitchers. Some Nepenthes catch rats and birds, though most, like Nepenthes ampullaria, capture ants, millipedes, and other insects. Though menacing, the toothy peristome invites prey to the sweet nectar just inside. As in the other pitcher plants, a pool of digestive fluid and death await any curious insect. In North Carolina, we find Dionea muscipula, the Venus flytrap. This extraordinary creature is extremely rare in the wild. The leaves form complex traps which snap shut upon unwary insects. The remarkable trapping system is elaborately contrived. The interior contains a number of flexible trigger hairs. When an insect touches one of these hairs twice, or two hairs one after the other, the trap actually grows shut in the blink of an eye. The trap seals tightly and then digests its prey. In Japan, research scientist Chiaki Shibata studies the diverse life found at Mount Koshin. Monkeys and rare orchids live here, but Professor Shibata is most concerned with a tiny plant which dwells at the summit. Here, on just a few rock walls, lives Pinguicula ramosa. This ancient carnivore has been clinging to these rocks for millennia. Professor Shibata closely monitors the small populations of Pinguicula ramosa because it is an endangered species. Unfortunately, this wonderful creature is just one of many imperiled carnivorous plants. In fact, Dionea, Pinguicula, and Nepenthes are all threatened with extinction. The principal threat to their survival is man, who carelessly destroys their unique habitats. Though we have seen many fantastic creatures, man is the strangest of all. Humans are perhaps uniquely capable of appreciating the astounding beauty of nature, yet man eradicates other species at an unprecedented rate. Plants made and continue to make human life possible. By recklessly destroying the plant life around him, man threatens his own survival.